right. Episode 6.
We're here.
Okay, so Lauren Stevens and Khaki McGrath, just to reintroduce ourselves again.
Khaki McGrath. A little rusty here.
And we have 2 special guests with us today who are good friends of ours, Leigh Hansen and Alston Calabrese from Habitual Hostess.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
So
welcome. So excited to chat with you guys.
I know, yeah. So Leigh and Alston are good friends of ours, and we can talk about that also throughout our time together. But I'll introduce you guys a little bit. Leigh and Alston have an Instagram, a Substack newsletter, and anywhere else, your like a website.
We have a website.
And it's all how to host beautifully, is what I would say, and gracefully.
Oh, I like that.
Thank you.
I think we also want to add, it's attainable hosting.
Yes,
So
exactly. Yes.
I think that you look through different things and you see all these gorgeous over-the-top hosting moments and, like super editorialized, and we're more like, have this party because we need to make some memories, and you can do it and
have fun.
make this in advance and have fun.
Yes,
So
yes. I love the fun element.
We introduced you a little bit on our last episode, which is all about simplifying.
Yes.
And
Good
Lauren and I
segue.
are not cooks or whatever. You host way more than I do, but watching Habitual Hostess just helped me kind of find things here and there. You kind of pick and choose what you can do, and it helps simplify the whole process a little bit, which is great.
Yes. Yeah. So Alston and I met through our husbands years ago, and Leigh, I feel like we met too around that time probably. Yeah. But when you guys started, I was so excited because I have known Alston and how good a cook you are and host that you are. So it just made sense that you guys started this
Wait,
whole
Lauren,
thing.
I remember what I gave you for your wedding.
Yes.
What do they call it? The wedding party.
Yeah.
Bridal shower.
Bridal shower. Yes.
I gave you some of your plates that you wanted, and I gave you 2 recipes to make.
Yeah.
Because you were like, I don't cook. And I was like, okay. This was many years before Habitual. I was like, you just need to have 1 or 2 dishes, and you just make them a lot, and then it'll become really easy.
Yes.
And I can't remember both of them, but I know one. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
One was the roast chicken,
Yep.
which is on our website.
have it, yep.
And the other one is the baked Italian meatballs.
Yes.
That was one I remembered.
And kid friendly too. Not that we have kids yet, but you were thinking ahead.
I was like, you can do it.
Yeah, you can do it. It was so encouraging. And that's also a good idea now for a gift for somebody. But yes, it was so encouraging and also well needed for me because I was like, help me. I don't know what I'm doing. And even then I looked to you. I feel like I so knew that you knew what you were doing. So I'd love to hear if you guys could just kick off with your background, where you guys went to college and where you're from, because I think that has a lot to do with your inspo, what you guys do today and your hosting.
I'm from Destin, Florida, and went to University of Alabama, which is where I met Alston freshman year.
The third day of school.
Yeah,
First week of school. That is the best.
That's amazing.
So fun.
Leigh is from Destin, and she didn't own any shoes except for flip-flops. She's also 6 feet tall. By the way, I feel like that's a good thing for people to know, just period, that Leigh's 6 feet tall, because I look at these pictures sometimes and I'm like, people must think I'm so short.
No, yeah.
I'm almost 5'10".
Yeah.
And she's not. No.
Leigh's 6 feet tall.
Exactly.
But anyway, she only had flip-flops and no coat.
No.
I mean, we didn't really need a coat. It was Alabama,
No.
but.
Yeah, right. That's so wonderful, though. That's
great.
Yeah, very
So-
nice place to grow up.
Yeah, so nice. Very crowded now. But then we were roommates in college and then moved to New York. We were roommates in New York. I started at Comedy Central, advertising.
Yes.
Yeah, when I first moved there. But also worked in restaurants the entire
Time.
7 years I was there, with maybe a short stint not.
Yeah. So working kind of like a side hustle to make extra money.
I loved it. That was way more fun for me than working in an office.
Yeah.
And I was a hostess and a manager, so that's kind of
goes
my
all back to
background.
that.
Yeah. And then married my husband, who's from here. We thought we were probably going to move back to California, but his job kept him in New York City, so we stayed and moved out to Greenwich as soon as we got married. So
yes, that's great.
That's awesome.
And I'm from Virginia. Again, we went to Alabama together, and then I moved to DC for a year. I got a job opportunity to move to New York, and I called Leigh and I was like, I'm going to need to be your roommate. She's like, I already have roommates.
You can't just pick them out.
And I was like, no, I heard one of them is not really working out because this is a true story. There was like two rooms with double bed bunk beds, and there were 4 girls that moved from Alabama
That's what you have
to
to
New
do
York.
in the city, right, when you move
Big
from
girl bunk
college.
beds.
Yeah, big
Scrappy.
girl bunk beds. Yeah, very
You got to be scrappy. So anyway, elevated, 2 of them moved out. One new person moved in, was supposed to build a wall.
So you had
Never
a
did.
bedroom.
Right.
So she was
that
still
was a
like
thing.
perching on our other friend from college's double bed bunk bed.
Yes.
Leigh had gotten rid of her double bed bunk bed.
She
And I was like, I got the money to build the wall. I'm going to do it. So I just kind of did. And the other girl was like still living there in the
The TV room or whatever.
She's like, all of a sudden there's a wall here. And
but I thought that I was going to. So anyway, and then we both
it
met our
work.
husbands within like a month of each other, and they're both
that's
from
so
Greenwich.
funny. They're both from Greenwich.
Yeah.
Did they know each
I was
other
gonna say,
growing
did they know
up,
each
or
other?
They always say they knew of each other, but
Okay.
Chris is older than Tony, so
Okay.
they were never in school together.
Yeah, got it. Okay. That's so funny. Yeah.
So then Leigh moved out here. I had my first Elizabeth in the city. And then we moved to San Francisco, and we were there for almost 6 years. And then
lives that long.
moved back 2020.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's when
the idea of this
idea
all came
started.
about. Yeah.
Well, the idea, similar idea, came about when we were living in New York City.
Oh.
We were talking about a blog.
Oh, like all the years back
Yes.
when only blogs. No,
Yes,
there wasn't even
only
Instagram.
blogs.
Yeah.
That's great.
Oh, funny. I didn't realize you guys had like thought about it.
Yeah.
All of that.
well,
time
Lee's
ago.
an amazing photographer, so it kind of
Yes.
and a great hostess. I mean, both of us love to host and entertain, and I think that that's kind of like this funny and ironic thing when you live in New York City, right? Because you don't have a ton of space, so
Yeah.
that's not really what you're doing, especially not when we were there in like 2005. And Lee's husband, Chris, he loves to host. He had this great apartment, and he would have people over all the time, and we would have people over all the time. And I think that was kind of, not your norm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we were going to have a blog called Eat Pretty, and it was going to be Leigh
Oh, I like that.
taking pictures because she's like,
She's a photographer.
she's an amazing photographer.
Yeah.
And then, we were going to do recipes, and I don't even know. It never really evolved. I think
Yeah.
after like a glass of
That's so
wine or a
fun.
mojito down the street one day,
Yeah,
we're like,
exactly.
this would be great.
Yes.
And then, there was zero execution.
Well, it's also a different time too
Yeah.
in life. Yeah.
Do you guys have, like, people always ask us how we work together as sisters. Like, how does the partnership work with you
yeah,
guys?
yeah.
Like, you said you're very good at photography, Leigh. Like, is
Right.
that what, one of your main roles, or do you guys, like,
That's
divide
one
and
of my
conquer?
main roles. Alston is, we're both so ADD.
They always say
So it's kind of a miracle.
it's a miracle.
You guys, then you did it, but you're doing it. So
good at
you're
learning
making
the-
it work.
Yeah, we're making it work. She's so good at learning the technology.
Yes.
Which I'm like, I
Yes.
can't figure it out. She's
Yeah,
like, I
she's
showed
good
you
at
this
that.
yesterday.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't remember. Show me again.
Yeah. Like the linking new products and like.
Well, they
and
always
reels
say-
and all that.
Find somebody who balances out your
Yes.
personality. That's like a
Yes.
good thing, right?
Yeah,
So
right.
Leigh
It's
and
like
I said
how
we're
we
not
feel.
going to do that because
Not in most ways.
everybody would be so annoyed with us. No one would want to work with us.
No.
But I think that in general, we all, we plan all the ideas together, and like I probably like cooking a little bit more than Leigh,
Yeah.
but Leigh probably she brings it to the hostess side even more, because sometimes I'll be like, oh, we should make this and this sauce, and she's like, nobody's gonna make a sauce, and I'm like, you're right, and she's like, and so we
I
should
like
do
that.
this
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we should do this because this is like, more streamlined and easier, and like if you're gonna host, we're this is better, and so we balance each other out that way some.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Yeah.
like that's not going to photograph well. So we
Right.
can't-
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Everything is brown.
Yeah.
We have to add some.
Yeah.
need
Which
color.
color?
Good for hosting because you think about what you're serving.
Yes.
But also when I think about
Like
photographing,
presentation.
like what we're
and-
gonna.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Host,
people
it's
eat with
like-
their eyes first,
Yeah,
right? I mean,
exactly.
it is
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
Yes, you can weigh in. Yeah, it does. I mean, so it's like the different eye of things and
Yeah.
like abilities of like maybe people won't make that, but
Yeah.
your Christmas. I'm gonna make your Christmas, or it was like a Christmas party thing. I think I told you this on Christmas Day at our house, and you laid out every single thing
Oh,
of like
yeah.
That's the newsletter.
the newsletter. And I don't know if I'll do like the drink because it's just like our family, but like everything is laid out so simply, and it's all make ahead.
Yes.
And which is so important for
So
Christmas Day.
I love our newsletter, because when we started from the beginning, we kind of did everything in a series, right?
Yeah,
So we were
right.
like, we had this vision and we've really kept, we've tweaked according to what people have responded well to, but I feel like our vision is very the same from day one.
Yeah.
And so we've always kind of done things in stories based on the seasons and the holidays and all of that stuff. And so, Instagram's like these little blippets, right? It's like you kind of have to like henpeck around to like find all the recipes and find all the things. So 2 years ago, we started a Substack newsletter, and it's basically this just party planning one sheet. We pick a party theme based on the seasons, and a lot of it is what we used to do in series like years ago. And so we'll put together a menu.
Right.
We'll link all of the recipes. We'll give you all the tips.
Yep.
For which I feel like is the best part of the newsletter. We'll give you
a timeline. What to do
the timeline.
Wednesday before the party, what to do Thursday.
Yes, so
your
helpful.
shopping list.
we give you a grocery list that you can print off. And so it's fun.
Yeah,
And then
and it's
like
a
also
one-stop shop.
essentials and kind of like with the idea of like, here's what you need to build out your hosting wardrobe.
Yeah, right.
Because
Yeah.
is that what we call it, hosting wardrobe?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Because that's what makes hosting easy. It's like, oh, I don't have to like scratch. Like, do I have enough platters or an ice bucket or like a pitcher? And like, you just know you kind of have everything.
Yes,
Right.
yeah.
It makes cooking way easier.
Yeah,
Hosting
and as
way
young
easier.
women like getting married and whatever. Even now, I'm like, just those little things. I don't know. Like our moms.
As a
might have
host, you
taught
want to
us,
enjoy
but-
the party too, right?
Right.
Like
Yes.
you don't want to
Yeah,
be stressed out
exactly.
in the kitchen the entire time.
Right.
So
But
having
we-
a plan and
Yeah.
checklist.
We both learned the bad way. I mean, we both can tell you real
That's
bad.
what got you too.
Please let us
refine.
teach you not to make the mistakes that we've made from the beginning.
Yeah.
Lots of enthusiasm and poor execution has happened
A lot.
many times.
That's true.
Wait, Leigh, tell about your Christmas party. It is the season.
It is the season. It was our first year living in Greenwich.
Okay.
And so we were just married in May, like had made a few friends. Some friends were coming out from the city. I decided to make I would say more than 5, less than 10 homemade things that like my mom would serve at our Christmas Eve party.
Oh wow. Okay.
Plus a drink and like a big punch, whatever. And I mean, my husband got home from work. I'm sure the party started at like 7. Let's say it's like 6. And he's like, I'm sitting on the kitchen floor and I'm like crying in a bathrobe and my hair is wet. And he's like, did you get ice? And I was like, ice? No, I didn't think about the ice. He's like, okay, I think you should go upstairs and dry your hair and like maybe put something on.
Yeah,
And
because
then we'll
people
just
are actually
tackle.
coming.
I'm like, oh my God, nothing is on the table. Nothing was really, of course I pulled it together and it all was fine. And
Yes.
no one really knew except for maybe those that
No,
I told.
attended the party, and Leigh was mentally a mess when I arrived, but
But I had on a sequin skirt and finally put on some mascara. So it
That's-
worked out.
So
You
you
know.
pulled it together.
You
Wait, did
do-
the food end up okay? Was everything?
yeah.
yeah, and I think
But it
that-
was too many things. I decided to
So
make
many.
everything. And
Yeah.
like, why was I going to? And they're
Yeah.
all small little
Right.
appetizers. And
Yeah. It's
sure,
just a lot.
that's fine if like you make some of it 3 days before.
Right,
Or
yeah.
you put some stuff in the freezer to pull out. This was like
Everything at once.
everything
Yeah.
at once. And I was also working
That's
at the time.
learning
So
the
I'm
hard
sure
way.
I started when
Oh
I
my
got
God.
home from work.
Yeah.
It was a disaster.
I remember
Oh my
one time
gosh.
I decided to have people over for 4th of July in New York City. This was obviously before we had kids, but I think you were gone.
Yeah.
And we're like, it'll be great because we would climb through this window in our kitchen and there was like a roof. Do you remember that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, and you could like go up and watch.
You could
the
just like go
fireworks?
out and kind of see the
Whatever.
sky.
Yeah.
Probably like a glimpse of
Not
a firework
sure
in the
where the
corner.
fireworks are going to be. So.
I decided that I was going to fry chicken while people were there.
Oh, right.
Oh.
I remember that, yeah.
Wait, why do I feel like I?
Maybe
you were
you
there.
were there.
Maybe you were
I
there.
was there. I don't know. Something about this sounds familiar, or you've told
So
me
like
stories
everything
before.
else that I made, I think I made like, potato salad and slaw and whatever. But I remember telling Tony, my husband, I was like, yeah, but do you think, I'm like, I work in Southern. I'm like, we'll just serve like the fried chicken room temperature. And he's like, that's weird. He probably also thought fried chicken is weird because he's Italian. So I was
That's
like,
weird.
okay, I'll just fry it. Well, I mean, first of all, I was probably tipsy. It was 120 degrees and I'm
Yeah.
frying
Oh, God.
chicken
Oh my
in a
gosh.
New York City
in
apartment.
our
Oh, in the one that you guys
apartment.
lived in? The
Yeah.
one?
Yes.
The one. Yeah.
East Village.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was
I
in
can
Little
picture
Italy.
that. Yeah. That sounds challenging,
Yeah.
to say the least.
So don't do that.
But at least you did that, so now you know.
Oh,
now
yeah.
you can
Yeah.
tell
Learn
us
from your
what
mistakes.
not to do.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's like crazy. That's so funny. I didn't even try, so at least you tried. So in building your following, because you guys have a ton of Instagram followers now, like 30,000 or so, I think, or I don't even know what the latest number is.
Yeah.
But you guys did that like very organically and like quickly. And in this world where like Instagram is so hard now to figure out and like the algorithm and all that. And so I just have so much like admiration for you guys for doing that and literally building from the ground, from nothing. So if anyone's listening that might be interested in like how you built that or like things along the way, consistency, I don't know, like, or, you know, your content, like anything that comes to mind with like what you feel like you guys have done to get to that point.
Yeah. I think consistency for sure. Like Alston kind of said, let's do everything in a series from the very beginning.
Oh, nice.
So that's kind of been the way since the very beginning.
So you had like a calendar set out.
Yeah. And so then, you know, that is a consistent posting schedule for like a week, could be a week and a half.
Right.
So you know what you're getting, you know what the menu is from the beginning, and you know what the posts are going to be, which I think kind of helps people understand what's coming next and entices them to keep following. I think also adapting to what's changing. Like when we first started, I was like, heck yeah, this is going to be awesome. I love taking photographs, and I like most importantly love taking, you know, still life like food photographs. And then very quickly, I would say within the first year, it was like reels. I'm like, what?
I know.
No.
This is impossible.
And you have to talk.
Oh my gosh! And you have to put and we didn't put our face on it in the beginning. It was just like
For like the whole first year.
For like the whole first year, it was like sure.
Oh yeah, that's right. I
We
kind
didn't
of
even
remember that. Yeah.
have like our little logo was not even our faces. It was just we wanted
Pure
to put this
cooking
out there.
content. Yeah.
And then people started saying, well, you have to have more of a presence, and you need to show yourself, and you need to show more of your personality. And also, nobody's going to look at it if it's on a reel.
Yeah.
And so learning how to film and, you know, buying the tripod thing to like film and then just changing it entirely. You have to change everything. And I think that continues to happen. And she's more on top of like, okay, this is what the algorithm I think is doing now. And this is how we get more views. And remember in the beginning too, we were like, if we don't post at 6 a.m., no one is going to see it. And I was like,
still feel like things
you
like
know,
that.
3 kids running around trying to get ready for school, and you're like, post. Oh no, it didn't upload right, or whatever.
I know. Yes,
I think it's so good in general, though. You know, we're both in our 40s. Learning something new in your 40s and getting out of your comfort zone, I think, is huge. Or at any age, but like, there's a reason that you could take this kind of lull and not do that. And I think it's great because it's like, okay, we got to keep doing it. But that has been huge for us.
I love that. I think that's such good.
But I would say consistency, and then also like our network of support, including you, the two of you. I mean, we started a series called Highlighting Hostesses that we did our first year. You were our first feature on
that's
it.
That's right. I forgot that.
And it was back in the time when if you just posted a picture on Instagram, then like everybody that followed you would see it. And we would get, you know, hundreds of followers like in a day that we posted. And so we reached out to one of my good friends in San Francisco, Keelan Fisher, who has a fabulous Instagram. So she did it for us, and then y'all did it for us. And then we worked a lot with our friend Brooke, who owns Monogram Mary. And it was so wonderful to have like all of these friends of ours show up and show support for us and take time out of their, you know, lives. And so that's been huge. And I think, you know, networking, and then you can also like make friends through Instagram.
It's that happens.
When we kind of, I think this was like, we had been going for a year. There's a local Fairfield County food blogger, Kat. Kat can cook.
Kat can cook.
And I always say, I'm like, she is a lovely person, because the greatest gifts you can give someone is the gift of your time. And so I literally messaged her. I think that she had met you or Brooke or somebody. And so I messaged her and I was like, hi. At this time, I think we had 1,000 followers. And I think she had like,
just reach out.
And she had like 100,000 followers at the time. Now she has almost 1 million.
Wow.
And I said, can we just pick your brain? And so she took time to meet us for lunch.
That is wonderful.
It's wonderful. And she did. And then, you know, she's been a great support for us.
That's awesome.
So there's just so many lovely people that I think have taken the time for us. And that's huge to us. I think reach out to people, but also like, just so everyone can see behind the curtains, like we did not make any money.
Yeah.
The entire first year we did it.
Yeah.
Right.
We were basically like, if we can just break even, and when I say break even, we like made boxes for the holidays so that we could just say that we made
good.
even. It
Those
was something,
boxes
and that
are
was
good.
great. And we did some like catering things, and really, honestly, for the first 2 years, nothing that would impress.
Right.
And I think that we obviously were in a situation where we were full-time moms, and like we had gone from 100% full-time momming to branching out to start a career and start Habitual Hostess. And we had supportive husbands who were okay with, this journey for us.
Yep.
But it takes time. It
does.
takes like 2 years.
And
And
you have to be
so
so dedicated to it.
if
Like,
someone
you can't
is
give
like
up.
telling me that they're like 22 and they want to be on Instagram, I'm like,
luck.
make sure you get a job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get a
Like,
job,
because
it's not gonna be an income.
It's not an income.
Yeah.
And then,
Invest
and
the
you work
time and all
hard.
the props and everything too for hosting.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
there's a
Yeah,
lot
you have
involved,
to-
not
it's
only
an
the food,
investment,
but all
true.
the
Right.
fun
The luck-
hosting things.
Like our
Yeah.
husband's like, where are we putting these glasses?
Yeah.
We already have
You're
glasses.
like, it's for the reel or the
It's
photo.
right.
Yeah, or why do we
Yeah.
have two
Yeah,
of one
yeah.
set of something?
Yeah.
I did order those Christmas tree
know,
glasses.
they're
Tony hasn't noticed yet.
So cute. They're so cute.
I think I saw them. You posted them, right? Yes.
They're so cute. We went to a Bad Roman in the city and had the most fun. And they had the eggnog at the end in these Christmas tree glasses. And I was like,
Yeah.
they were on my mind for a few days. I'm like, I just need those for my Christmas table. So
Wait, speaking of eggnog, I laughed when you said you wouldn't share your eggnog recipe.
She's so mad
And it
about
looked so good,
It's
too.
so good.
Wait, was it like the frothy thing that you like?
Yes.
Or- yeah.
It was what I was
It-
ladling out of
Yes, yes.
I know. It's
There's a
like-
I
lot
don't
that are
blame you,
undervolt.
but yeah.
Yeah. I
don't
know.
even get me started on Lee's mom about it.
Oh, it's your mom.
This messaging is for you,
yeah.
Suze.
I know your mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, last
Oh,
year.
yeah, she was at the last shoot.
Yeah.
Last year, I think that you filmed like a minute where you were
Yeah.
making the eggnog. And what'd she say?
She was so upset because it was part of the technique that is what makes it so good.
Interesting.
Oh, wow.
She's like, you're giving it
And
away.
she was like, what? I was
Yeah.
like, Mom, there are no ingredients here. I mean, people can guess. Obviously, it's eggnog. It's not like that.
Yeah, right.
Different
right.
than anything else.
Yeah.
But
That is
I can't remember the
so
story. I wish
funny.
I could remember. I forget it all the time because she has a couple of like very secret recipes that she doesn't want to give out.
Rum cake,
Rum cake too.
Oh, okay.
pound cake.
Okay.
Pound cake, yeah. So pound cake was like, she has twins and, well, my sisters are twins. And so she had a baby nurse for 3 weeks, I think it was, like very short amount of time because she had a 1.5-year-old and then twins coming home.
Oh my God.
And it was Lucille, the nurse, baby nurse's rum cake, or not rum cake, pound cake recipe.
Okay.
And she said, please don't share it. And so my mom never has.
Right. Yeah.
And
wow,
then-
she's stuck.
Very
she's
loyal.
stuck to her word.
The eggnog is, so it's one of my grandmother's, I hope I'm getting this right, one of my grandmother's friends in Memphis.
Okay.
Her son worked at a super fancy hotel in New York City. And this was the eggnog they served. And he
Okay.
brought it back, the
Got
recipe
it.
back.
Okay. And it was like, this will be under lock and
This
key.
is under lock and
is-
key. And she's so funny about it, but I'm also like, yeah, I mean, I've given some recipes out. And then you like go to a party and you're like, wait, I bring that.
Right.
I make that.
Right, I
and now
bring
you've
that.
made it and brought it and taken credit for it.
Yeah.
By the way,
yeah.
this is so Southern. Like
Yeah.
this
Yeah,
is
that is
such
Southern.
a Southern thing.
It really
I
is.
was gonna say.
And by the way, every
funny.
single one of those recipes came from Southern Living magazine. There is no original content
Some
there.
some sort of
Someone
Southern
leaked them out at some
something.
point and
Yeah.
got them in
Every-
the magazine, or they got them from the magazine. We don't know it came
Yeah.
first or not.
Y'all, everybody is acting like these recipes, like there's some sort of like home chef that
like-
created this recipe on their own. That did not happen.
Always
It is
came
a
from
dip.
somebody else.
It has 3 ingredients. One of them is cream cheese for sure.
Yeah.
And that is like just basically like I'm telling you right now,
Yeah,
like
figure it
there's
out.
no there you can
Yeah, they're not. You can figure it out.
You can Google
okay.
it.
Well, I was very intrigued. I was like, oh no,
Yeah.
I want to know the egg.
I wanna know the eggnog
recipe.
it correct. Like I think that there was a post one time we did and it was like our most viral post ever. It was a tomato basil tart. It is
Oh,
yum,
I've
yes.
seen that on your
Yeah.
Yo,
Instagram.
it's so good, and
Yeah.
you have to make it. But it's so funny. It was like this is my grandmother made this all the time.
Yeah.
My mom made it all the time. It was like
Yeah.
for special occasions. Every
Yeah.
time that anyone was home or
Yeah.
she had house guests, she would always make this, and she would serve it with like steak and asparagus.
Yeah.
But
Yum.
and it's so good. But then it went viral, so it got like over 1 million views, and so
Yeah.
people kept being like, "This isn't your recipe. This is."
yeah.
I said, "Do you think that my grandmother was in the kitchen like making
testing?
recipe testing this
Right.
recipe? No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's either from Gourmet Magazine or Southern Living.
Yeah.
There's no in
There's-
between.
Yeah. Like
And-
there's what? Yeah. Exactly.
So anyway, people
Yeah.
get all tizzied up about it.
Right. And I wonder. I love that though. That the Southern thing of like food is such a tradition.
Yeah.
Right.
More so than up north, I feel
Yeah,
like. I don't know.
I would say so. I mean,
Maybe.
our grandma
We had
had
some
recipes
things,
that she didn't like
but
to
it's
share
different.
either, but it
Yeah.
was a little different.
Yeah, it didn't have that same like
Yeah.
real tradition that
Wasn't like
the
grandma's
Southern ladies have, I feel
Yeah.
like. Yeah.
Meatloaf or whatever.
Yeah, I asked a friend
love that.
who lives here. It's like her husband's maybe grandmother's cheese straw recipe. And I was like,
Whoa.
these are the best cheese straws I've ever had. And she was like, I think it's a secret.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
You're like,
please,
one of
did you get
those.
it?
One of those.
But I understand because
Yeah,
he's from the
yeah,
South.
then
It's
you
never
have
going to
to-
happen. But
Right.
That's too funny.
So funny.
Yeah.
Well, Habitual Hostess is all about giving you the recipe. So
Yeah, I know. Here we are.
basically,
changing
here we are.
tradition.
But
We're
you know, it's so
changing-
fun
you guys are
because we're
changing
like,
traditions.
when we first started, I was like, I was like, endless ideas. Like all the recipes we've been making for like the last like 15 years that we loved, we're like, great. Like, you know, the cooking part was very easy in the beginning. There
Yeah.
wasn't like a lot of recipe testing or like,
no, and a lot of them are from like, you can't go wrong with an Ina Garten recipe. So a lot
Yeah,
of our
right.
favorite recipes came from her originally.
Yeah, right.
And
piecing
so we
them
tweaked
together.
them over the
things-
years, and so you add
Right.
like your tweaks or whatever. But
Yeah.
we always give
Yeah.
credit where credit's due.
yeah, exactly.
Yes. Yeah. And I mean, she does it
Do
right.
people
so I feel
recommend things for you to make as well? Like, do you have
Oh my
people
God,
sending?
JB. We have a friend's husband who's like
Oh,
our
yes.
biggest fan.
Really?
It's JB.
JB
Oh,
Garden.
Mary's husband.
And he's always sending stuff through Instagram or saying,
To
hey, I
make.
had this, I saw this.
Yeah.
You should make
You
this.
should make
Have
this.
you tried this?
Oh, I love
It's
it. Such
like
good
whatever
ideas.
is like-
so funny.
Yeah, we all need those ideas.
Whatever is like the most Southern,
Yeah.
like bacon wrapped candied jalapeno pecan
He said
fried
With cream cheese.
Yeah.
with cream cheese.
Yeah.
Always
Always
with cream cheese.
I made him pimento cheese for his birthday.
I love that.
One time we were on Leigh's boat and we mixed it up and we brought like a riff on better cheddar, which is like a famous cheese spread from New Orleans.
Did we
If you've
bring
been to
it
New
on
Orleans,
the boat?
he was really upset.
Oh,
was
that's right.
like,
He wanted the pimento cheese.
So is this just like this one time thing? We're not having
Switching
pimento
it
cheese
forever.
every time, right? And we're like,
'Cause every Thursday I'd bring the pimento cheese.
Yeah. Wait, what is better cheddar the thing you guys had on the tailgate?
Yes.
shoot?
Yes.
That was so good.
everybody should make it.
Oh my god.
I think I'm actually going to
good.
bring it to our cocktails and caroling.
Oh, that's a great idea.
You know what else you made last year that was so good at our house that you brought over was the caviar dip.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm making that on Christmas Eve.
We were
Yeah.
texting about that last night.
I think I
Like, should
need
I
to
make
do that.
it?
It's
Yeah. What's
like
in
the
it
highlight
again?
of my year. It's the easiest recipe ever.
Ever.
It's
Yeah, it was-
basically
it's
equal parts
so good.
creme fraiche,
Remember this.
sour cream, caviar, and chives.
Yeah.
And then you serve it with like salty kettle potato chips. But
Yeah, I think I had this at your house.
Oh, maybe you've
Have
made it
it left
before.
over?
Or maybe you
it was left
brought
over.
it.
I brought it
over.
last
You brought
year.
it, and it was left
had
over. I had
leftovers.
the
Yeah.
leftovers.
Yeah.
It was
It's so
delicious.
So good. So good.
So it's
Yeah.
like a fun festive treat. And like, you know, caviar obviously is expensive and like but you can really stretch it. Like
Right.
what you're
Yeah,
serving.
exactly.
Yes.
And it doesn't look like it's just in this wee little tin,
Yes,
right? Because
yeah.
it's, you know, you make a dip with it and
It's
Yeah.
it's like
But it's
luxury.
fancy,
Like
yeah.
but making it like that is
Yeah.
like a luxury dip.
so we'll have that on
Yeah.
Christmas Eve. Every Christmas Eve
Yeah.
we have that.
Yeah.
Okay, so other questions we wanted to ask were, what are your personal favorite dishes to make for your families?
So I made a roast chicken last night.
Okay, that's like
And
so good too.
My son was like, my oldest was like, why do we always have roast chicken? I'm like, first of all, I haven't made it in like 3 months.
Yeah.
But because it's good,
Yeah.
it's nutritious, it's healthy, it takes 2 minutes to put together, and then
Yes.
it's like this very beautiful. I meant to take a picture, but I didn't.
And see, that's a great example because that's a perfect example. Like, oh, I could never roast a chicken, especially not on a Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But like, it's
right,
one of those
Monday
things, you
night.
do it a couple of times, you're like, oh, this is actually so
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
Like,
For
so
one
Yeah.
pot. So
Right,
that's
right.
one of our, I mean, and everyone will eat it.
Right. Yes, that's so nice.
So that's good. And then one of Alston's recipes that we put up for like, I think a back to school kind of theme, the veggie ragu.
yeah, I think
They
that's
all
like-
love that. And that's another thing that you put
So
in the
many
crock pot and
sneaky
you forget
veggies.
it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I like anything that you can like make and like double.
Yes,
So
yeah,
it's
true.
like I am such like a planner of, well, first of all, I just love planning menus.
I know,
It's like
you're
I
so
like
good
planning
at
my
it.
weekly menu. I like to
Yeah.
sit down on
Also,
Sunday.
you were saying like you're hosting your whole family for
Yeah.
Christmas and you've planned out every meal for the 7
Every
days.
meal. And like not only planned them out, but like made them.
How do you do that?
So no, but I think that that's
She likes
actually
to plan.
I like to
Yeah.
plan, but that is actually in my mind to me, like as somebody who is maybe not always the most organized person and very ADD, it like calms my brain because I'm like, there's a plan. So I'll sit down every Sunday with my planner. I'll plan out what we're going to have every single day. I'll like look at what we still have in the refrigerator. And then it's like, dinner time already feels 75% less stressful to me.
Right.
Because it's like, I just know. Then you go to the grocery store, you get everything that you can for the entire week, unless it's perishable. Then I just got to pop by and get salmon on Wednesday or whatever,
Right.
And it's just easy. It makes life easy in my mind.
Yeah.
And then now it's like, I'll ask the kids, what do you want for dinner,
Right.
And so anyway, things like the ragu, and I love making meatballs because you can double those and freeze them. So it's like, if I can get a 2-for-1, like let's work smarter, not harder here.
Yeah. Yes.
We almost always do something that's Mexican themed on Tuesday, which I love because the kids love it in like a crispy taco, and I love it on like a big salad. So, we'll do like fajitas. We have a great recipe for like a skillet fajita. We'll do carnitas. We'll do a slow cooker, shredded beef.
Slow cooker carnitas I've had. Those are good.
You know who else is really good for weeknight dinners is Caroline Chambers.
Yes. She keeps coming up. She's having a moment.
She's having a moment.
Yeah.
She's having a big moment. But like do so. Like she really makes great, easy
weeknight
easy to
dinners.
follow.
Yeah.
Family friendly recipes.
Yep.
And it's kind of, I think, that one thing, because at the end of the day, I mean, I probably cook 3 times a week, right?
Yeah. Right.
Monday, Tuesday.
I love thinking about it that way.
Ask you that. Like, how often do you cook?
Yeah.
And then is our leftover
So Monday,
night?
Tuesday, then Wednesday, normally, or Thursday, one of the two of them will be leftover night.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like my husband will be in the city, have a work dinner or something like that. Like I normally always cook Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday or Thursday, one of them's like leftover night.
Yeah.
Then on like Sunday, I'll probably cook.
Right.
I'll cook and I take the time to like make something. Oftentimes it's a little more elaborate, or like chicken pot pie. Like Elizabeth loves chicken pot pie, or shepherd's pie, or be home to like roasted chicken, or we'll do like
or if it's the summer, you're like grilling probably or whatever.
I grill all
season.
summer.
Yeah.
I don't even turn my oven on.
I know you're good at the grill.
Yeah.
Like that's a good.
Because the grill makes life easier. That's what people don't realize.
True.
Yeah.
There's less cleanup.
Yes, so nice.
You can kind of sneak away, be outside. It's summer, so you're
moment.
probably having rosé. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's so true. But I love that thinking of like 3 nights a week. Like that is so also attainable for anybody. Like that's not that many nights.
We were chatting about it in a little basic level. We were like, well, we can do pasta one night. You can do breakfast for dinner one night. You have a Mexican theme one night.
Yeah.
Like,
I saw some people have it like
on that.
some people do it. They're like every Monday I make pasta. Every Tuesday I make something Mexican. Every like whatever. Yeah. My kids also love stir fry, and stir fry is great. Like, this is a little bit sad, this vegetable, and like I'm going to just
like
saute it with whatever protein I have in the freezer, or even like ground beef, and add a little garlic and soy sauce, and it's like serve it over your frozen rice that you get from Trader Joe's. Like done.
So easy. Yeah, and nutritious.
Yeah. So I think it makes for better eaters too. Like you need to have
variety.
I agree.
When they see their mother cook it, at first they're gonna be like, different. Maybe they'll be like, ooh, gross, but then you're like, no, can't break my heart. Like you gotta try it.
Yeah. Sometimes if my kids smell something, they're like, oh, that smells good, and then they like want to try it. I don't know. Yeah. Like the whole, like if I just get takeout and they try it, they won't. I don't know.
No.
Like, Elle
it feels different.
Yeah, like she likes. No, I don't know.
When
Not
it's like slowly, the smell is slowly.
Yeah, she's like, oh wait, that smells good. I'm like, okay, good.
I really believe in family dinner. We both do. I mean, I feel like sitting down. People are like, do you actually set the table? And I'm like, yes.
I'm also
my mom. My mom set the table, and we had, and it doesn't happen every single night. I mean, my mom Monday, Sunday through Thursday, we had dinner on the table.
With the table set.
Yeah. My brother and I also played this same sport, and we were home at like 6:00.
Alston was a swimmer too.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I know. Starving. My mom was like, if it was like 6:03 and dinner wasn't on the table, everyone was like panicking.
Yeah. But that's so true.
And my mom is an amazing cook. My grandmother's an amazing cook, and she has a whole history with cooking. But my mom would basically be like dumping pasta into water and like a can of sauce. Iceberg wedge cut into 4th ranch dressing dinner. I mean, like, we're all moms. Yeah. Doesn't matter how much you like to cook. You're not going to sit there every night and be like,
no, and you don't have time. If your mom is driving you to swimming, like, there's no time for that. Our mom, too, I feel like.
I had more time, I feel like, when the kids were younger, and just be like, you can watch TV at 5 o'clock.
Yeah,
right.
Yes.
From 5 to 6.
Not like that anymore. We're all out now.
Uber drivers.
Yeah, the Uber drivers, exactly.
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing great.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, well, I feel like we kind of talked about this already, but this episode will come out on December 23rd, right before Christmas. So what are hacks that you guys do for hosting? I mean, we already talked about your list making. I feel like that might be.
Yeah, I think that's the number one thing in my mind. Like, make the list and like have a plan. And like, so for example, I have my whole family coming up. I'm so excited. They'll already be here when this
comes out. Yep.
So my parents get here Friday. My brother and his kids get here on Sunday. So I literally wrote down every breakfast and dinner between now and Christmas Day. And that could be like bagels, you know, it could be whatever it is.
Just to make sure you have
and
it.
And also you don't have to make all these things.
List.
I mean, I enjoy it. So that's why I do it. But like, it's good ideas. Like one day we're going to have like soup and like biscuits for dinner.
Right. Yeah,
so I made those, but you could just go to Cinderella and buy some soup and buy some good bread, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just like the idea of having a plan, because I do think that if you're staying at someone's house and they're like, what should we do for dinner tonight? It's kind of like, or like you don't know what's going on for kind of like,
the plan
That's
helps.
a way of like taking care of your house guests. That's a way of being a good hostess. Like they don't know, they're not from here. They don't want to hear that you do or don't know what's going on for dinner. They want to see that you like have been thoughtful enough to have a plan, right?
Yes.
And like, I love cooking for my dad because he loves to eat and he loves like baked goods and stuff. So it's like, you know, I made biscuits. I made like scones and put them in the freezer.
Yeah.
Like just stuff like that. So I like have a plan for every day.
Yep. That's
and
great.
then I always think like for the actual holidays, like what's your balance of like what you're cooking that actually has to be hot versus what's cold versus what's easy, what can you make in advance? What am I picking up from the store? Right.
Yeah.
It's
like,
not like
not
there's
making
but then you have a plan and then like I already made my grocery list for like the entire 10 days. And then like yesterday I went to the grocery store, anything that was non-perishable or like cheeses and stuff, I just went and bought all of it because I don't have to think about it, you know?
Yes, totally.
It just makes it the load so much lighter.
Like, even if you're not hosting family, like I'm going to be home for 6 days with the kids with nothing to do.
Yeah.
So like, what's the plan to eat? And that also helps our sanity with grocery shopping, planning ahead, going out. What nights are we going out? I don't know.
And those
Definitely
are those
helpful.
things too, like you're saying, like double the meatball, double the ragu.
Yes. And then freeze.
You can freeze it. So like the beginning of December, I think, and the second week, I think we were out more than we were in. But, you know, you've got babysitters and whatever. I'm like, we're shopping from the freezer. Like I didn't even go to the grocery store for the first. They're like, where's the fruit? I'm like, oh, okay, sorry, next week.
Yeah.
But it was like, okay, here's ragu tonight. The babysitter can boil pasta and heat that up.
Yeah,
that should be fine.
No
Just took it
problem.
out of the freezer in the morning. Or here are the meatballs and here's, like you're saying, some rice that you pop in the microwave or whatever.
Yeah.
And that is great to like, okay, I know that they cannot have pizza 4 nights this week, but I'm out 4 nights this week. So gotta have something for them.
backup. Yep.
Yeah. But also for the holidays, I think too, like we both did this recently. It's like made a huge batch of like the spiced nuts, made the cheese wafers for the freezer. And, you know, I always like to have lime juice, either in fresh squeezed lime juice, either in the freezer or the fridge.
Yeah, for cocktails.
So that if people pop over, or you're like, you know, going somewhere. Yeah.
Pantry snacks, like good potato chips.
Yes.
You don't have to make any of it, but just like make sure you have, like you're well stocked.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think that also for the holiday survival, I mean, Leigh and I will call each other and for years we'll be like, happy holidays. And it's like our way of like communicating to each other. Like, are you hanging on by a thread?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. My aunt and mom started that. Yeah.
So Leigh started doing that because so like called it, and it's just like you have to kind of like just make fun of it because it's a really easy time. You're like, I am so stressed. Who's gonna get all this done? Only me.
Yeah.
Right.
But like it's a joyous time, and so I think say yes to the things you want to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Say no to the things
That you out.
Yeah.
you're not super. If you're not super excited for it, don't do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. 100%.
And then just enjoy it in between.
Yeah.
Right.
I texted my husband last night. I said, I'm ready to quit and start drinking champagne
Yeah.
by the Christmas tree. And he was
When
like,
does that
I'll be
start?
home soon. I'm like, no, it's actually not possible. I have a lot to do tonight, but I really want to just sit by the tree.
I know. The past
And the fire.
few days have been feeling like that. I feel like we've hit our threshold. Of like, I think we're done. Like, I woke up yesterday morning, my back.
Yeah.
Like, my back. I think I threw my back out. I was like,
Standing in heels for too long.
Yeah. Maybe all weekend.
I saw on Instagram there was some meme about how mid-December, and this is obvious, right? But just to read it, like that it's the most stressful time. Your emotions are high. Just to read it and be like reassured that like, okay, I'm not the only one. You know, we're in this together.
I saw something
Emotions
that
are high.
resonated so well with me, and it said, wrapping presents is like the asshole cousin to folding laundry, and I'm like,
so true.
I forgot to wrap presents.
No, it's the worst. It's so stressful. And
I
I'm the
actually
worst
find
at
a little
it.
bit
I know,
of
I
like
feel like a little bit
relaxation out of
gratifying.
it. Yeah.
You do?
Like
Throw
I
on
do.
White Christmas.
Yeah.
Make a grasshopper.
Yeah, exactly. I had a grasshopper last night, actually. Not
I
champagne.
haven't had one yet this season.
but I
Wait, that's a
did.
drink from that show.
Yes,
The Palm
we didn't know
Royale.
that. That was
Yeah.
we started making them before.
I mean, it was like I think like the 7th recipe that we
Oh.
posted.
Wait, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I've had them with
Yes.
you
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
I actually just made
We
today
took them
the
for a photo
grasshopper brownies, which
those
are
so good.
like the brownie version of a
add that to the
grasshopper.
list.
Oh,
I'll drop some off to you.
yum.
Great.
Okay. Yum.
So good.
Okay, so last question. What's your favorite Dudley Stevens this season?
The one I'm wearing.
I think the cherry
This
one. Yeah.
is the best.
Yeah, I'm so
I mean,
glad.
I almost texted you yesterday from the car because I feel like I've been sending you pictures from the
Yeah.
car. Like, another day, another Dudley. Yeah. Except for it's the same one. 'Cause it's my favorite one. I throw it on every morning. I really do.
Yay,
It's
so
so
good.
easy to throw
Should
on.
probably
And
watch
it's
it.
cozy.
That
Yeah,
might be
yeah.
that might be my current favorite one.
Yeah.
But I was telling, I'm like, we joke with Leigh, I'm like, not all day, every day.
Yeah.
but every day I wear Dudley Stevens. I
Half
mean,
the day at least.
it's
half
just
a
the
day,
most
yeah.
perfect thing ever. And I am particular to any of the popover half zip.
Yeah.
types. I love those.
Yeah.
And the
And
waffle.
the waffle.
You love the waffle.
Oh,
The
yeah.
waffle,
Yeah.
the
Oh,
waffle from last year or
We have
2
a
years
lot of
ago
good waffle coming.
with the
Yeah.
gold buttons.
Yes.
That one it's
Yeah.
my number one most worn favorite of all time.
Yeah. I just
Dudley.
tried on some new waffle that
We
is
just
coming in
tried
the
on-
spring.
Yeah, Q1.
January.
Q1.
Yeah.
But actually, if
Q1
you
waffle.
Wait,
the
Yeah.
most worn Dudley that I have was from one of your first collections, and it's the cardigan one, and I wear it every day as like a
know.
robe.
You always tell me
I
that. Now
love
I'm
it.
like, we need to come back. Do you remember the cardigan that we
Yeah.
had like years ago?
Yes.
Was it long?
No,
Yes.
it's like short.
Well,
so it's,
not
it's not like a
long,
robe. It's
but
like
yeah.
it's like below your hips.
Yeah.
It has like no
Yeah.
buttons, but it's just like this. It's navy blue. You've seen me
Yeah.
wear it
Oh,
before.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like my house cardigan. or
House
something.
coat.
Right.
It's a house
Yeah.
coat. A house fleece.
That's right.
Well, we do have a cardigan coming next fall, but it's in Sherpa. But it still might be served the same.
Thousands
Yeah.
of times
Yeah.
I've worn that.
Right.
Thousands
So
at this
funny.
point.
Oh, well, good.
Yeah.
It's really run the,
Yeah.
you've gotten every cent out of it.
That's right.
Awesome. Well, this has been so
I
fun.
know, thanks for having
I know.
us.
I
Thanks so
like
much.
love that you guys had this concept so many years ago. I learned something new today, and
You've
I feel like it makes so
inspired
much
me
sense.
to now make a list for next week.
I
too.
know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I'm gonna
that's
go
what I
make
did
a
last night.
list.
Plan.
Yeah.
Everybody
look at
stop
those
what you're
meatballs we keep
doing
talking
and
about.
make a list.
Make
Yeah.
a list, and anytime you have a vacation of any sort, like your home, you need to plan out. I don't know,
Right.
just that's a sanity thing. That sounds like a good thing to start doing.
Yeah, agreed.
And yeah, I guess that's it. Yeah.
Well,
Thank you guys
thanks
so
so
much.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you for having
Happy
us.
holidays.
Good luck next
I know.
week or this week, I guess.
holidays.
Exactly. Happy holidays. That will just get us through next week.
I know, right?
All right. Thanks, guys.